we need to have the secure data transmission. So when you want to perform the secure data transmission, so you'll be looking for the kind of definitely we need to transfer the information from the one location to another location. So when you're transferring, so you will be performing kind of encryptions. So all the data, whatever data you are dealing, that will be encrypted. So you will be adapting some kind of mathematical the expressions and all those algorithms you will be using. So he will be looking for the kind of encoding methods. So with that, once your data is encrypted, then you will be looking for the transmission purpose, as well as the once through the communication medium, you will be receiving the information of the receiver end. Then you will be decrypting the informations, and you will be getting the original information. So this entire process will takes during the transmission of your data. So when you are planning for the transmission of data, so if you are planning with this kind of encryption and decryption techniques and other things, so when you can assure that your data is secure. Your data is secure. So that is the reason we are looking for that. So when you look for this, we have like a the secret key encryptions also. So if the two parties are involved, only the two parties have the they can have the key, means they can unlock the information. So this is a secret key. So we have like a public key encryptions also. So the message will be encrypted by the public key. So that can be used for the decryptions. They will be using the private keys and all those things. Okay, so for example, we can say that so when you're purchasing the licensed software and other things, so the key will be given. So the key will be used for only the one users, means only one users can be used, right? So you understand? So similarly, if we are using our mobile phone, we are sharing our the mobile network connectivity to our the friends. So we'll be sharing the password. The passcode has to be enabled. So when you want to transfer the one file from via Bluetooth, so you'll be enabling the passcode. So it's a kind of key you are ensuring that, so that the secured transactions will takes place here. So that is very very important. So this is very very important for the telemedicine purpose also. So similarly, we can have enable the digital signatures. So with this digital signature configurations and all those things, so even the slight variations in the um, changes in the image, the text, so that can be identified. So this is also it's one of the important thing. So whatever the informations you are transferring, so whether whether we are whatever the information we receive, it's in the uh, original information is transferred from the transmission end, whether the same information will be received or not. So this all can be verified here. So any small variations, also any deviations can be identified here. So that can be deleted. Okay. So we have like a PGP format, pretty good privacy also. So that's different techniques are available. So whenever you require, you will be using kind of informations to have. So similarly, we have the SSL layers. So this SSL layers is nothing but secure socket layers. So all the connectivity, so it's enabling through the SSL layers. So this is between the TCP/IP and the HTTP network. Okay. So each and every system, the machine is connected with the different IP addresses. So the HTTP is the link. Okay. So whatever the website link you have, so that can be connected. So this two is very very important. So in between these two, the SSL layers are working. Yeah, okay. So and so we'll be using the one more. We have like a HTTP, yes, secured. Okay, so that particular web page is secured. So through that portal protocol only, that transmission everything will be happening here. Okay, so this is also one of the is the important thing. So if you are looking secure transmission between the SSL enabled server to SSL enabled browsers. If you are secured way you are, so you are creating in the all the transactions will happen in the secured browser with the server. Okay, so the unknown people will not be interfere on that because of the security levels of the system. So you'll be looking for the all the transactions will be in the secure way. So definitely in telemedicine when you're talking, so you'll be looking at the electronic transmission of the information. Okay. So when you are using the internet, so you'll be looking for the ethical and legal aspects of internet. So we need to think about the patients, physicians, and internet. So these three are very important areas. So the patients will be connecting with the physician through the internet protocols will be connected. Okay, so we need to have the guidelines for the patients. So guidelines for the healthcare professionals also. So whenever they are using the services through the communications mediums and all those things. So how this medical services can be given in through the internet and all this. So this all is very important. Will be so when you talk about the detailed way, the patient's physician and internet, so what kind of websites they are using, so to communicate to each and everyone. So that's very important. Whether they have like a kind of direct email communications we have, or whenever the patient is connected with the doctor, so they have the question and answer sessions and all those things. So through the websites, through the portal when they are diagnosing, so whether it's a convenient one, so what kind of prescription can be given, how they will be monitoring. So the all the test results they will be taking, right? How the transmission takes place. This all is very important. So whether this customized the portal is the fulfilling the requirements of the individuals and all those things we need to check. So once this is fulfilling this, that's a very good system we could say. So similarly the small group can be enabled. Okay, so for the providing the services and all. Okay, so this is very important when you talk about the three parameters: patients, physicians, as well as the internet. Okay, so the guidelines definitely we need to have the guidelines for the patients. So these guidelines will for the patient information. So whatever the information is available to them, so it should be with the high quality. So we should provide accurate information. So whenever it's needed, the timely information should be given to that. So based on that, they will be taking. So the decisions and all those things. Okay, so the ethics has to be followed. So when you are following the ethics, so whatever the informations you are providing, so this will be through the communication systems, the communication medium we could say. So we need to have the very high quality and ethical standards has to be followed. Okay, so similarly we need to have uh, the healthcare facilities. So whatever you are providing, that will be trustworthy and updated. So whatever the information you are collecting about the patients, so the personal informations, so that should be kept in the private and secured way. So that should not be disclosed to any other people. So that is very important. So always the personal information has to be kept in the secured way. So we need to encourage the people to participate in the kind of activities and all those things, so that so they will be knowing that, so they will be getting the benefit out of that. You need to empower the consumers to distinguish the online health services and all those things. So that will give you the kind of comfort. So when they are doing that, they will be following the what has to be followed. So the detailed instructions has to be given here. So similarly, when you're following the telemedicine, definitely you need to look for the ethics and legality of the internet medical services. So because through the internet only we are going to, so we need to have the patient and carer. We will be that carer is nothing but that we can say as the who is who is taking care of the patients and all those things. So that is very important. So that can be taken. So sometimes there will be kind of counselings, psychological counselings also can be given. Okay, so through the communications, so like example is email. Nowadays it's the online based. It's coming the live demo kind of thing. So interaction kind of thing. So whenever you are giving this kind of counseling, so that it will help the patients to recover fast. So they will look confident to get the treatment. So they will recover in the faster way. So that is a point of giving counseling and all those things. So what kind of medium is required? So that has to be understood. So that you can reach the patients easily. So with the recovery related to all the information will be collected to recover the patients in the faster way. So you need to understand that what kind of medium is required. So similarly, we look for some kind of very good skilled practitioners and others. So through that, so they will be giving the proper education to the patients and all this. So when you're educating when you're giving the lot of um, comfort to the patients, so the recovery time will be faster. So when you look for the telemedicine, again the juridical issues. So we because we will be performing the telemedicine across the borders. Okay, sometimes within a district or within a state or within a country or country to the different countries. So when you are looking for that, the regulation has to be followed. So each state has some regulations. So sometimes when you are across the border worldwide, if you are doing, each country has a regulations and regulations. So when you are performing the telemedicine, you need to know about the regulations, the state regulations and all those things. So the important another parameter is the licensure as well as accreditation purpose as well as the reimbursement. So whenever they are performing the clinical reimbursement, also it's very very important. So how this is. So definitely we need to follow the state regulations. So that will be the regulations will be issued. So based on the whatever the requirements. So whether it's the common basis will be fixed. So with the conventional medicines and all this. So this issues whatever mentioned, it will be specific to the daily medicines. Okay, so we need to know about the which implications you are. Just a minute. So so when you're looking for the regulations, so you'll be looking for the local implications and all this. So the legal implications. So we need to adopt the depends on the local laws and all those things. So we need to practice medicine. So if you are considering the local authority, so at a district. So when you're looking for the state, when you're looking for the country. So the slight local laws will be there. So we need to adapt with that. So, okay. So definitely the different states will have the kind of law and judicial issues. So that can be barrier for the telemedicine practice. So we need to overcome this. So how we are going to overcome? So we need to have the signing the MOU. So we need to have that mutual understanding. So with that practice, we can get the information. So this is very important. This claim of negligence can be failed only if the patient doctor's relationship was established. So when you are establishing the kind of relationship and other things, if it is less clear, so through the hotline and internet and others, so we need to work on that. Okay, so that can be clarified here. So similarly, the patients from the different states, so where they are going to claim to be filled. So that is also very very important. If they are getting the treatment across the border, so which part they are going to get the reimbursement? There's a claim of how they are going to get the claim and other things. So this is also it's a very important thing. So this all has to be signed with the MOU. So when you are signing with the MOU to have the practice of telemedicine and everything, this all can be sorted out. Okay. So when the justice to be sought in the patient state or the clinical state, so where they are getting or somewhere else. So this all has to be sorted out. Say example, the patient is in the different state, they are getting the consultation from the other state. Okay, so what will happen? So if they are doing in that way, so where they will be getting claim. So if they want kind of um, any problem occurs, how they will be getting the justice. So whether they have to claim here or in the clinical state they have to claim. So this all has to be rectified. So this has to be taken. So we need to have like trials with the more pro doctor laws and everything. So when you look for the justice on the other hand, so the directions, so we need to know about the witness, overall availability of the witness, whether the convince expands residence of the parties and everything has to be. So this all will come into the pictures. So when you're looking for them, if it goes any wrong or something, so definitely we need to. So or when the services taken within a local law and all those things, no problem. So it can be sorted. So if the service is taken across the border, so then how this can be taken? So where it can be applied? So who will apply? So which law will be applied to that? So because the different states, different law will be followed. So this all has to be taken into the aspects. So another important area is that when you are performing the telemedical malpractice. So when the person is traveling the ship, so if the ship will be in the when they are traveling the sea and all those things. So what will happen? So there they will be climbing if any malpractice, anything anything it happens, unusual things, so where they will be climbing. So that time, so the which country whose flag is flying on the ship may be able to climb the jurisdictions and other things. So this is very important. So when you are looking for if you are in the local territory, no issues at all. If you are traveling, then it will be so they similarly, so if you are looking for the ship, if ship is traveling from one country to the another country, so which territorial waters in the ship is anchored and all those things we need to check. So for that, to overcome this all the six, the G8 countries they signed the MOU to establish the code of telemedical practice. So when you are G8 countries are signing the MOU, so they will be fixing the what kind of law has to be followed, how the security, what is the information collecting from the patients, how what kind of confidentiality will be maintained. So what kind of standards of care can be given to them. So how the remuneration practice will be there. So this all will be taken into the considerations. So then they sign the assignment. So with this note, so if you are pushing in this way, so that's what I was saying in the previous slide. So if the hospital to hospital, if you're signing MOU, so all the terms and conditions they will be discussing and they will be signing with that. So when they are signing with that, then they will be there is no issues for them kind of security level, confidentiality laws to be adopted, what kind of care can be given. So you understand. So this is within two hospitals. If you are thinking about the different country, then you need to like a G8 countries. So they have signed MOU for this practice. So similarly, we have the licensure as well as accreditation purpose. So what are the people? So they have the education training purpose. So they need to get the preset standards and all those things. Okay, so they say example, all the doctors they need to register with the IMA. So in Indian Medical Association, so they'll be registering. Then they'll be issuing with the registration number and all those things. They are licensed to practice. Okay, so like that. So they need to fix some kind of standards. So if they are providing some kind of training, so how should they should go for the training and all this. So similarly in the US, so they must have the additional exams. So they will be taking as a USMLE. So they will be taking the additional exams. So for the licensing board and other things, once they are clearing the exams, they will be giving the license. So with this registration number, they can practice. So the license to practice. So you understand what I'm trying to say. So that's very very important when you talk about any healthcare professions. They will be taking the license. So this license also has to be kept taken from the respective authorities and all those things where the doctor wants to practice, the place of practice and all those things. Okay, so the different countries, the different areas we have like the different systems. So they will be taking with that. Okay, so the California, Illinois, Jonas and all those things. Okay, so they'll be getting the license to practice the uh, uh, to practice. Okay, so sometimes they'll be getting as a consent form to have the practice and all those things. Okay, so the reimbursement is one of the another important area. So when they want to perform telemedicine, when the patient wants to get into the telemedicine, so the reimbursement is very very important. So whether the patient is paid by the directly or it's going to pay through the organizing agency or insurance agency and all those things. So if it is paid through the patients, it's immediately it will be done. If they are going to pay from the organization or insurance companies, there are several stages as to be. Similarly, some insurance companies, the teleradiology uh, taken with the uh, teleradiology is for the reimbursement conditions and all those things. So sometimes so you will be looking for the telemedicine. We know that it's will be for the video conferencing applications we will be using. Sometimes so there will be non-video conferencing conditions also has to be taken for the kind of cardiac fetal monitoring and other things. So that also to be included for the reimbursement. Okay, so if you are the telemedicine practice, definitely we will be connecting with the rural areas, so it should be available in the rural areas for the clinical reimbursements. So the IPR, so very very important. So all the informations, whatever you are taking, so it should have the intellectual property rights. So is associated with the commercial values and goodwill associated with the inventions. So kind of inventions, if you're taking a small part of the inventions, that is your own idea, you are building up with that. So that can be given as a kind of patents and all those things. So small the programming techniques, when you're using the software, even the logos, the trademarks, designs, and all those things. So you can see that the registered R symbol will be there. Okay, so the IPR is law is encouraging the innovations, lot of innovations. So similarly, the IPR law is giving the kind of protections to the authors. So nobody is taking from their ideas to to other institute and all this, so organizations. So the author is idea is protected here. So that is the help of IPR law. So that can be. So similarly, we have like a patent law. So when you have this idea and other thing, you can have the patent. So when you have the innovative ideas and other things that can be patent, but the scientific theories are mathematical techniques, so the should be in the public. So it's not a bit patentable and all this. Okay. So when you are doing this kind of innovations and all those things, so if you are doing some kind of innovation against public interests also, it's outside the scope of the act. So you need to have, it should serve to the society, it should serve to the public of interest. That is very, very important when you are looking for the patent law. So the conditions, definitely I told you, so the innovation in the sense, so the novelty should be there. So when you look for the novelty, so the particular design is not published or not used anywhere, that you need to take care of things, then only we can say as a novelty. Okay, so it's not something somebody has done, you are duplicating that. No, that is not a novelty. So you need to innovate, you need to design, you need to think of your designing, so nobody is published or nobody is used. So you need to use different design elements and all those things. So that can come in the inventive steps and all those things. So you can think any applications oriented industrial applications or something. So the patent will be given for the 20 years. So this entire 20 years nobody can copy. So that the kind of protection is given for the innovation to the authors. So this is also very, very important, because when you are practicing telemedicine, you will be innovating some idea, so that can be. So the patent is infringed. So when the innovation of the products and another person makes it, so sometimes they will dispose, offers to dispose, sometimes they use. So this all conditions you need to take. So sometimes they will be taking the process, so they will be using the process. Sometimes they will be disposing and all this. This all will be uh, considered as an infection. So we need to avoid the lot of information. So we need to you need to consider providing the considerable info on the design and construction. So that is very, very important here. So this new products, whenever it's looking for the new products, it will be replacing the old properties or replace the old ones. So that can be patent, we can see. So the patent and licensing. So the any manufacturing units or marketing, they can look for this. So they will get the license. Okay, so and they will once your license is given, so they will not copy from you. So it's prevent any other organizations to including the licenses. They can't sell to the product with the territory and all this. So that will be given for the particular territory and all this. So this will give you kind of protection to the author, as well as they will be taking the kind of uh, new product launching and other things can be taken with that. Okay. So this will give you very comfort to the innovators and all this. So when you are looking for the patent owner as well as the license, so they will be looking for the non-disclosure agreement. So yeah, so the non-disclosure agreement is very, very important. So it should be must. So when you are looking for the NDA, so they will be taking this, the ensure that the confidentiality of the licenses and how this taken, what was the before and what is the during, what is even after the termination of the license. So entire thing will be taken in here when you are looking for the NDA. Um, process and other things. So entire the phase of the license. So the whatever the occurrence is happening, the change in the market and other things will be taken. So we can have like a kind of enhancement also in the patent, so it can be upgraded with the new patents and other things. So this is also very important. So when you look for the this kind of opportunities, you will be taking a lot of innovations. Okay, so we have like an information. So the all the informations will be access to the registered as well as unregistered designs, trademarks, brand names, everything. Even the brand name also it's very open. So if you are registering with that, nobody can use with that. Okay, so that is very important. So the copyright law. So this is used for the kind of productions for the authors and the publishers. So this also can be used for the only the period of time. So nobody can reproduce it. So you need to understand. So if say example you are keeping some name of for your organization, the small organization they are copying your name and they are keeping. So that's not a very good thing, right? So that's kind of duplicate, right? So that should not happen. So that is the where we are bringing out the implementing through the law, the copyright law. So whatever the legal protections we need to give for the particular product and all those things. Okay, so if the product is launched, so one should have the responsibility to prove the ownership with the so based on the base designs and all those things. So nobody is going to reproduce that. So when you are legally protected, so during the particular times. Okay, so similarly, we need to think about the owner has the right to reproduce the load and run, transmit, and store the programs. So, for example, when you are writing some coding, so it will give you the features and all those things. Sometimes, so you can rearrange the program and you can reproduce the program. So change of some commands, some GUI systems, so graphical user interface you can change, and you can store and you can run the program. So that can be given for the owner has the rights to reproduce, but none of others can have the rights to reproduce it.